Do you want to live Moss, but with Moss protein, Moss burritos, and Moss gains? We already covered the Crunchwrap Supreme. So today, in the Anabolic Laboratory, we are making beefy 5-layer burritos that taste like they came straight from the Taco Bell drive-thru. We can now eat 2 beefy 5 layers for the same calorie price as 1 from Taco Bell. So make sure you stick around to the end to hear the macro and calorie breakdown of both. My name is Nick. I have my master's in exercise physiology. I make anabolic recipes and I also review other recipes and products here on YouTube as well as coach. So if you're into that kind of thing, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Please share this with someone who loves Taco Bell and can now have it on a diet as well. Let's get into it. First things first, and we have to prep everything. So first we will do our meat. Waiting for Greg on that one. They say what ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Crunchwrap ground beef was perfect, so we will be seasoning it the same way. I have my scale and I got these little tiny glass bowls. You get these at the dollar store. They're perfecto. 3 for $1, can't beat it. We will start with 3 grams of chili powder, 1 gram of garlic powder, 1 gram of onion powder, 1 gram of paprika, 3 grounds of cumin, 1 gram of crushed red pepper, 0.3 grams or half a teaspoon of oregano, 6 grams of salt. It doesn't matter what kind of salt. I have the pink Himalayan, but that's because I'm using these automatic crushers. Anything works. And then 2.5 grams of fresh cracked pepper. Always better freshly cracked. And I highly recommend these because you don't have to spin it for 10 years to get that 2.5 grams either, but it's up to you. So now that everything is in there, we will just take a spoon and we will mix it up. And this is for a pound's worth of meat. If you plan to make more of this in the future, you can double or triple this up and save this so you already have this mixed and ready to go so you don't have to get everything out every single time you want to make your seasoning mix. The worst feeling in the world is when the meat that is cooking is done and you're still trying to prep other things, getting them ready. So we will prep all of the other ingredients as well before we actually add our ground beef to the pan. Now you can call me lazy if you want, but I'm using refried beans out of the can. This is Taco Bell. We're trying to make this as simple as possible and as quick as possible. And I really like La Preferida's items in general. All of the stuff they have in their cans is pretty damn good, to be honest. Also, I get the fat-free. They have ones that are up to like 160 calories per serving. This is only 110, just an FYI. 65 grams of beans, and this will be for 2 burritos, okay? We're making 8 burritos worth of ground beef as well, so you will have 6 burritos, or for me, 3 dinners left over, ready to go whenever you want them. Next up is our nacho cheese sauce. I tried this, I tried their nacho cheese, I tried the Fritos mild cheddar, which I have here, and I also tried the Fritos jalapeno cheddar. Funny enough, not even the nacho cheese, but the cheddar cheese tastes the closest to the beefy 5-layer, so I'm going with La Preferida. However, if you could only get this Fritos mild cheddar, which is always in like the chip section at the grocery store, then you could use this as well, but this one is the best option. We're going with 62 grams of the cheese. They do also have shredded cheese that they put on the inside, and for that, I shredded my own cheese. You can get the pre-shredded. If you shred it yourself, tastes so much better. Guarantee it, without a doubt. I've had a lot of cheese in my life, hundreds of pounds, guarantee that. And to get that same look, if you want the same look, you can shred it on the big side if you want, but I shredded it on the small side to get those little tiny shreds. And so we will weigh out 14 grams of that. Now you can debate me all you want. 0% Greek yogurt tastes exactly like sour cream. I made way too many protein ice creams and licked the spoon to not know that it tastes exactly like sour cream. So what we're gonna do is use 60 grams of it for our burritos. You will see me switch up what kind of ground beef that I use, but today we will go with the 96.4. There's so much seasoning and flavor that goes into it that we're okay using the leanest ground beef that we can get. And we're gonna weigh out 1 pound of it. Typically I would have already had my pan preheating, but since we have to break it up, and I suggest breaking it up with your hands, it makes it so much easier. And Taco Bell, I'm trying to recreate this, remember, as much as the picture as we can, because nothing ever looks like the picture, but I figured out a way to do so. We have to make it very, very small to try to recreate that, and it's easiest to do it with your hands, and it takes a while. So while the pan is actually preheating, we will break it all up, and by the time we're done breaking it all up with our hands, then it'll be ready and hot. And with that, we don't want the pan too hot. I'd rather go low and slow than overcook. Since we're breaking it up so small and it doesn't take very long to cook, if you have it on even a medium setting, it's gonna dry out the beef and make it dry. Tastes not good, not gonna be there. Low and slow is the way to go. See, I'm about halfway through and it's already starting to sizzle. It's already getting hot. Like I said, you don't have to start heating it up until you start breaking the meat up over it. Now that we have all the beef in there, we're gonna evenly distribute our seasoning over the top. And I got about 15 grams of water here that I'm gonna add to the pan as well. Now I'm gonna give it a nice stir. We're gonna cook this beef just till it turns brown, all right? We're not trying to overcook it. Especially with 96.4, it can dry out very easily. While that's cooking, let's go over the tortillas. I told you guys before to never trust the packaging. I had a tortilla that said it was like 190 calories for 70 grams, let's say, and it ended up being like 110 gram tortilla, which it almost made it like 300 or something calories. These ones are about 3 grams heavier, but I equated for that into the calories, so don't worry about that. These are La Banderita. These are my favorite ones to mess with. They aren't that big, but they are perfect size for the beefy 5-layer. They're super pliable even before you heat them up, and they are 45 calories per tortilla. The way Taco Bell does it is they use a smaller shell on the inside layer, and luckily La Banderita also makes smaller ones. However, if you could only get these ones, you can cut about an inch in and then go in a circle all the way around. Our meat's almost done. We only really need to give it 1 stir after our initial stir, and we are about ready to build. So I'll see you then. Okay, bye. When meat cooks down, moisture is lost. It's different every time. What I like to do to just try to be as accurate as possible is I actually weigh it out, and then I divide it by 4, and I know how much each serving is for me. 400 grams on the dot, so I will take 100 grams out of this container and I'll let this cool off and then throw it in the fridge for later in the week. We have our 5 layers ready to go, and whether you wanna do it the quick way or the Taco Bell website fancy way, you have to start with the nacho cheese on the bottom. Before we do that, I'm gonna throw our beans in the microwave for 20 seconds just so they soften up and they're easier to spread. Since we're making 2 burritos, I just guesstimate at how much half is, and if I'm wrong, I'll just add some to the other tortilla. Now we wanna spread this to the tip of one side and to about an inch of the other side, and then an inch of the outsides as well. So the only part that actually comes to the tip is the front. Now if you're not trying to do them fancy, you can kind of do them however you want, as long as the nacho cheese is on the bottom. But we are going to make these aesthetic as today. Our bottom layers are ready. Now we're gonna do the same thing to our smaller shells, but with the beans. See, I really love these little spatulas because you could literally get like every crumb out of there, not waste a damn thing. Now these ones we will go all the way to the end, but we will not go all the way on the sides. We will take our meat and we will pretty much try to center it. Now we add our sour cream the same way. Our sharp cheddar reduced fat cheese as well. Now we will fold one side over onto the next side. And what I was doing is taking a little bit of the refried beans, putting it on the end of tortilla, and that'll help it stick. Now, we lay it right on the end in the middle there. Oh, that's a beautiful sight. One more time. For this last part, we will take our end, bring it in. I kind of press the tortilla into the smaller inside burrito, fold it over, again, fold this one over. You cannot tell me that that doesn't look like the online beefy 5-layer on point. God, I'm so excited for you guys to try this. It's going to taste exactly like a beefy 5-layer. Half the calories though. All right, let's finish our second one. And we have 2 perfectly made beefy 5-layers for the same amount of calories as one beefy 5-layer, but way more protein than the beefy 5-layer at Taco Bell. Now these burritos aren't hot. The only thing that was really hot inside of there was the meat. So we need to heat these up. If you have a panini press or something of the sort, go ahead and use that. It'll give it a nice toast on the outside, but I don't. So we're gonna roll these up like a real burrito from Taco Bell. Now I like to bring the parchment paper a little bit underneath here, fold it in, and roll. Now we will take our handy dandy paper plate, put our burritos on it, and one of the few times I nuke, we will nuke them for about 20 to 30 seconds depending on your heat preference. Then you just let them sit and they keep heating up in the parchment paper. While we wait for these to cool down, we will go over the macros. And if you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video for the algorithm. I spent hours trying to make these exactly like the website and perfect them, which I haven't seen anywhere else on YouTube. So at least that deserves a like. But the macros for the beefy 5-layer from Taco Bell, 490 calories, 18 fat, 63 carbs, 18 protein. 18 protein for 500 calories is just so disappointing. But for 2 of my beefy 5-layers, it is 520 calories, 17 fat, 74 carb, and 56 protein. 520 calories. You get 2 burritos. My girlfriend has been eating these with me and she cannot get through both of them and she is full. If that's not telling you much, I don't know what else to tell you. I actually ate 4 of these last Sunday and I was stuffed to the gillets. So even if you wanted to eat 4 of these and just go straight ham, you would only have about 1,000 calories worth of food and you would be stuffed for the rest of the night. I wanted to test it out and literally killed all my cravings. But it still looks beautiful. It looks better than when you get it when you come home from Taco Bell. And you can't forget the fire sauce. Come on. You could even see when you press down on it, the cheese coming out. Like, it is to a T the Taco Bell beefy 5-layer, but for half the calories. There's nothing more that I need to say. I will post everything that you need as far as ingredients and amounts down in the description below. Leave me a comment of another recipe that you would like to see. I'm going to start on the orange chicken very soon. I just have a couple recipes that still need to get made. And let me know, please, if you try these, how you like them, because I can guarantee you, you will think they are straight from Taco Bell. But until next time, I will see you in that next one. Deuces.